One more thing from the Odyssey that is a real place that really exists is Troy. It is a real place, an archaeological site, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site that you can go visit today if you wanted to. Back in the Bronze Age, there really was a city that existed on the western coast of what is now Turkey, and it was known as Troia or Wilusa, depending on who you were getting your records from and what language they were writing in. The site was inhabited for about 4,000 years, and the result of that 4,000 years of habitation is a mound that is made up of all of those different layers of habitation that were built on top of each other after periods of destruction or expansion. Because of the decades of archaeological work that have been happening at this site, we now have really cool things like this that show color-coded layers at the site and how they're all interacting with and stacked on top of each other. Each layer of habitation at the site has been given a number from 0 to 9, 0 being the oldest, and that dates to the Neolithic period and early Bronze Age, which is approximately 3600 to 3000 BCE on the timeline. Troy 6 and 7 are the habitation layers that date to the late Bronze Age. And at that point, the city looked a little something like this, with a walled citadel and some more city below it. There is documentation in Hittite that references a city, Wilusa, that was a place that people went and that was traded with. And then the sublayer, Troy 7a, is the layer that dates to the end of the late Bronze Age period, and that has a destruction layer in it. While the city itself was devastated by an earthquake a couple hundred years before, this specific destruction layer is where we see evidence of fire in the form of scorch marks. The destruction layer dates to around 1180 BCE, which corresponds to the Bronze Age collapse. Now, whether or not the destruction that occurred at this site during this time period was from the Trojan War or even the Sea Peoples, we don't know. But we can tell from the archaeology that something serious happened here. But as was the way with Troy, the city was eventually rebuilt and repopulated, and people continued living here for several hundred more years. The site did go through multiple periods of abandonment and then repopulation, and even though this kept happening over and over again, people were actually living here into the Roman period. These days, though, like I mentioned, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a very popular tourist attraction, and they have 2 Trojan horses, including this one from the movie Troy. So if you enjoyed Troy, you can go see this in person.